subscribe to the Danny Houston podcast, man. So, okay, what was your decision to say, all right, I'm getting out the streets?
My kids. I had to get out for my kids, even though what I didn't know then, they had already seen too much.
Because your son ended up going in at a young age, right?
At a young age, and they had already seen so much. I should have got out years ago, but the money was just so lovely. It's hard to leave that money behind. And when I got out and started working a regular job, it was like I was so depressed.
I was gonna ask you how is that transition? Because I mean now you got to schedule, you got to be here the same time every day, you got to leave the same time every day.
I always had a job, like at Woodard Bell Bondsman and Jefferson Davis Hospital. I always kept a job.
Even while you was hustling, all the
while
stuff
I was
we talking
hustling,
about.
because I counted where my money was coming from when the laws messed with me. But even though I was making way more money, I had too much money in the bank to account for. And I always had a job, but when it came to the point where I got out the street and just was relying on the job, it wasn't enough money. It just came to making me depressed and down and stuff, and it was hard not to go back in them streets.
Did you make an exit plan? Like, all right, I'm gonna save X amount of dollars and then I'm going straight.
Yeah. And then I got out. But even when you save a certain amount of money and you're working, that money don't last forever, because you instead of issuing money out, paying bills, paying house note.
Are you trying to keep up with the lifestyle too?
I'm trying to keep up with the way I look and everything. Like right now today, I got 400 and something pair of heels. And I can't even walk in them no more because of the stroke, but I won't give them up. And yeah, because I always liked to look nice and stuff, but it was hard. You can't keep up. If you ain't hustling, you can't keep up with that street life working a regular job unless you at a chemical plant, making $100,000 a year, a lawyer, a doctor, something like that.
Yeah.
Then you can keep up with it.
Yeah. And then, we were talking off air about, how you ended up having some health issues, and, that was kind of a different blow for you.
Yeah.
I was listening to some of the stories, though, because you had it was a brain tumor, right?
Yeah, I had a pituitary brain tumor on the left side of my head. And one Easter Sunday, 2012, I was in the house and I just fell to my knees because my head was hurting. And my ex-boyfriend at the time had called and said he was outside. And I made it to the garage to let the garage up, and he rushed me to this emergency center in Pearland. And I'm hollering and screaming, and they ran x-rays and stuff, and the doctor came back and said, I don't see nothing. I can't find nothing. And I'm like, B, you think I'm hollering and screaming for something, for nothing? Something is wrong. So I went home that night, and it got worse. And so I got up and drove myself to St. Luke's Hospital, and they did an MRI, and the brain tumor was covering the whole left side of my face. I didn't know I had lost my left eyesight at the time. A portion of like it covered my right eye. I can't see nothing to the left, and it had did so much damage. And so I had went to the emergency center yesterday, and they say they didn't see nothing. And she said, how could they not see something in this thing bigger than a baseball in your head? So I end up, it was so big, I end up having 4 brain surgeries. I had one, I healed for 6 to 8 weeks. Then I go in and have another one here for 6 to 8 weeks. And it done rolled over to 2013 by the time the 4th brain surgery. So by the time I had the 4th brain surgery, you lose a lot of friends and everything when you go down, when you get sick and stuff. When you get out.
That was revealing for you? Like, that's when you saw who was really down?
I lost a lot of friends and stuff. And my daughter got tired of being there for me, tired of my boyfriend, who I was with for over 15 years. He got tired of me. And so when he picked me up from the hospital that night on the frame brain surgery, the doctor told him, don't leave her alone, because it's her 4th brain surgery, and the more surgeries, the worse the brain is, and she can't do nothing for herself. So we get home, and he's talking about, I ain't got time for this, I gotta go. So he left me there, and I wasn't supposed to be by myself. So it had came. So I lay down in the bed, and it had came to the point where I had to get up and use the restroom, and I couldn't. I couldn't even lift myself up, like on the couch now, to get in the restroom because he had done left me. And so I finally hold on to the wall, and I went through a lot of stuff to get to the restroom. I didn't have to crowd out because I'm not going to pee on myself. And I finally got to the restroom. So I woke up the next morning, and my phone had rung. And I was trying to say hello, and I couldn't. And they kept saying, Charlotte, what's wrong with you? And I was trying to talk like, it wouldn't nothing come out. So I said to myself, I done had a stroke. So I forced myself to get up because I wanted some water. And as I was trying to get in the kitchen, I'm bumping into the walls because that's how stroke do you. Your body be trying to go one way and it goes the other way. So I say I done had a stroke. So I'm so fed up with all these brain surgeons and this stroke. I know I done had a stroke. I sit in the house for 5 days crying, depressed, because I'm tired. And my daughter finally come over, and I get her to take me to the hospital. And I go in the emergency room in St. Louis. I say, I done had a stroke. They say, well, how long it been? I say, 5 days. They say, is you crazy? They say 5 days. I'm surprised you still talking and stuff. But I knew I had a stroke, and I had I had one of these balls. I had a soft ball that was on my dress. I don't know where I got it from, but I knew I had had a stroke, and something was wrong with this side of my body. So as I be watching TV, I went to the doctor yet. I just played with that ball and messed my hands because I already know what's wrong, but I don't want to go. So the doctor say, by you messing on that ball all those days, help your hands and stuff. But you lose a lot of people. Because I was with that guy for years, and I was older than him, and all of his homeboys and stuff used to be so jealous of us, and used to say, well, Charlotte older than you. When she get older, she gonna be looking like an old lady, and then you ain't gonna want her no more. But right now today, I look better than him, and his homeboys gal, and I'm older than all of them, but. You just can't depend on nobody. When you get down, they gone. And then it took like 3 years for me to get myself through therapy and get back up and get myself back together. And then when I get myself back together, they couldn't get all the tumor out because it was so big. So I started having laser treatments for them to laser it out. So I started getting myself back together, dressing myself back up. So I sat up on the bed one night, and my body started transforming. My hands started, just coming back out. My legs started doing some different stuff, and my toes and stuff, and I transformed, and I called my doctor. I say, everything, it just felt funny. My body just was coming back to normal because I had got me a treadmill and an exercise bag. Everybody gave up on me, but I didn't give up on myself. So I started running on that treadmill every day and using that exercise bag, and my body started coming back. So when I started getting back up and getting myself back together and dressing up and stuff, that same nigga, after 15, 16 years, saw me. Started calling me, wanted to be with me, and everything. Nigga, you left me when I was sick. Yeah. You listened to everything that your homeboys that was saying, but your homeboys that wanted to be with me. And I always used to tell him, I said, your homeboys don't know the person that I know. I say, because you sit up with me and you talk about every last one of your homeboys. You talk about how they borrow money from you. Talk about the gal, how this nigga got a vet and can't even pay his bills, and he done went and bought a vet. And as one of his own boys, this black ass nigga, I can't stand his ass. He was always worrying about our relationship. But down there when you get down, they not there.
Damn, you a real fighter, Charlotte.
They not there.
You are a true fighter.
Like Big Metro, that's my homeboy. He used to be outgoing. He can't walk or do nothing for himself now. And I call and check on him and try to be there for him as much as I can. Because I know how it is for people not to be there. And everybody used to be at Big Metro house. Now Big Metro house is empty. And he can't walk or nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Donnie Houston.